Thank you very much. Could you tell us your life since you were born uh, until you finished school to date? I was born in the colonial days in Bancroft, now called Chingola. I have been to many schools due to my father being transferred from place to place. The schools being Kasempa Primary School, Chifwani Primary School in Kasama, then Kasama Boys Secondary School, and Pika Boys Secondary School, where I since finished my Form 5. What are you doing at the moment? At this moment in time, I've been working for Barclays Bank, but I took unpaid leave to go to London, where I'm currently studying banking. Who has sponsored you? Is it the bank or it's your own personal private sponsorship? At the time I left, the bank was not sponsoring any employees. If one wanted to go for further studies, you had to find your own personal sponsors. And private sponsors are very difficult to find. The government only accepts bursaries for studies, mostly in the communist country, in which banking, in which the banking sector is not totally well covered in those terms. So I'm still in London on my own. How many years is the course? 3 years. I finished 2, 1 more year to go. When you finish, what qualifications do you think you obtain? Well, it's called the Chartered Institute of Bankers Associateship. It used to be called a diploma before that, but it's been equated to other professional qualifications. Now, Associateship, Chartered Institute of Bankers. Well, we believe you take kindly or very interested in the current political situation that has just arisen in the country. From your own point of view, which party do you think should go through the general election so that they take over the country? Well, everybody's happy, especially to us they call fresh blood. Well, I'm keen to see a number of parties so that people have got a choice. Not like in the past where people had no choice. There was only one party and I don't think there's any purpose for any of us to vote. I have at the moment in time not specifically chosen any party that I say I specifically support. The problem is I haven't been around, so until I come back, I'll sit back and try to analyze the parties so that I'll be able to choose the most appropriate one at that particular time. I understand you come from KABOMPO. Who are the parliamentary candidates and do you personally know them? Well, I know quite a few. I think Mr. Makai and Mr. Chikwenda for MMD may contest. Quite a few others, but at the moment, I don't think I know. Well, I mean, someone might be coming. Since you are a multi-party sympathizer, can you tell us what has been wrong in the past and what measures you think we should take or should have taken to improve our country's economy? The problem has been in one party state. You know, people tend just to do things on their own, you know, without being answerable to anybody. That's the opposite in a multi-party system where you find the opposition will be there to talk about any wrongs that the other party has done. You know, the voters have a choice and the voters vote. They're people who have the mandate to choose which party to be in power, and they're given the power they don't deliver their goods, they risk losing out. People can only follow, like, shall I say, put it in the good wind. If UNIP does not deliver the goods, they'll go for MMD. Should MMD fail as well, of course, they'll go for another party. What people want here is just that they want improved standard of living. I mean, for improved standard of living doesn't mean everybody wants to be a president. No, that's not it, man. From the Second Republic in 1972, what are the main mistakes you have seen in our leaders, and what are your own personal views with regard to the welfare of the economy of our country? Well, this starts from a very far angle. We used to get foreign exchange from COP, and we no longer get that amount, so we have quite a downfall there. And prices are very high now. They're, I don't know how many times more than they used to be. And there are much too much imports than we used to in the past. We are not self-reliant. And aid that used to be given is no longer accounted for. It hasn't been in the past, and people just used to do whatever they wanted. They have messed up the country. But this time, I'm sure we have the forum to criticize whatever happened, whatever goes wrong. Well, if we can't criticize them now, then, I mean, we can just not call ourselves as being the democratic country. Let's say you came back after your studies. What's your future like in politics? Do you think at one time you'd like to run for parliamentary elections? Well, that's a minor issue. All we need to is a lot of support. There's some discrimination to some of us who have grown up into in the cities, and we've been brought up because of our parents. Our parents have been working there, and since then we have got jobs there and are still working there. We've been going home, but I mean, I hope people would welcome us when such a time comes. What's your advice to the young generation with regard to the political developments that have affected our country? Can you criticize them, advise, or just give your points that will strengthen their will into the new endeavors? Well, one biggest problem is that we are misinterpreting politics here. You know, the way it is, members from different parties cannot talk to each other. There's too much hostility. People should love each other, irrespective of which party they come from. I mean, we like what I'd call political maturity. I mean, all parties are for one goal. We're after actually improving the standard of living for all the people. And if you don't cooperate, where do you end up? You have chaos in the country. I'd like to see cooperation that will exist is like between brothers. People, you can quarrel as members of parliament in parliament. And after that does not mean you carry grudges outside the parliament. I'd like people to drink it together after that. It's something that should just come in automatically. Otherwise, if at all we can't do that, then we can't go anywhere. Can you compare the old schools you attended and the present schools? Do you think they still are the same, or what are your views? Oh, schools of my days were very much all right. Nowadays, the schools are very, very much appalling, and oh, I really don't know what description to give them. Those days, we used to get almost everything free. It was free education, and it used to be called. It's only the uniforms we used to get. Our parents had to pay. I think the problem has been that the government pretended, if they had told people from then to start paying, there wouldn't have been such a problem. Everybody believed it as a free thing, education. This time to tell them to start paying is really a problem. Comrade Kapasu, I'd like to thank you this morning for having been with me in the interview. That was Comrade Darlington LUPALE Kapasu speaking with me here in an interview, find out his views over the current political situation in this country. Currently, Darlington is
mangana ngena cha hasali tabwechi yo mwe mfuti. Mulikumblia lelo tunaliwane na wamwata wa Darlington LUPALE Kapasu kahaba mwata wa Kapasu mulikumblia lelo natosa kushimutwila tuvenga kuya chavo na bishinga byabona bali nabyo mukutala habihande bifuti na chulo binasoka muholinga na muna mulifuti letu. Vamwata wa Darlington LUPALE Kapasu
Mwani
chakuli wanga tamogentai mwani
mwane
munasa kunguleza ko kuyoya chenu okumase mukilile no kumatangile shikwa yenu na kuheta kulikumbili ntu aliwanengana
mwane etu kusemukira twasemukire mu makolonio muchi Bancroft bakuhandeka kuchingola kashikola momo batata bakukala transferred kumatauni ali different, so twatangela ku northwestern northern provinces kushikola kere Kasama boys Kasempa primary school na Mpika boys secondary school ke twakumishira shikola
kahamu holilinga na mtuna liwani muna kulinga vima mkamwana
hanon jinakuza taku Barclays Bank Zambia muno mu Lusaka kaha miaka ya kulinga ibali hanima nja fumine milimo temporarily unpaid leave kuya ku London muku tanga banking
oyo shikola kana chipwe mali muna kuzachi samu holingana ku London anapunge yenu wawene mwakulifwetela taini Barclays Bank kwena kumfwetela
mwane Barclays Bank te kandaza twaile kaba kulinga sponsor chai so kumwa mtu utonda kulinga kuyamu kutanda for my studies as a yali hello watela kutondela ma sponsors wa ma banking bakala bashupa government ikaye kuhana mali kuba ku private kuya ku banking beko hana kuzwa banga ya ku Eastern Europe so yangelibene njalingire kulinga organize mali muke mjali twala kuze ku London na hake kuno hake kunjiti mwana
kauli miaka inga hina mbata kuze ku London
miaka 3 nja kumisa ko ibali kwa sala umolika hake anje kumisa mwana
kaulonge munaka kumisa kutanga mukamuna kulilongesa Institute of Bankers inyi shikola mukamuna kulilongesa
mwane beku ihandeka ngwa Associate Chartered Institute of Bankers laza bakuisana ngwa diploma unoni balingi change so kumatu akumisaze mbatwize nawa tuputuke kuzata mu banki wene ya Barclays Bank mwane mwane
katiyo kutiyo kunawa nguna mivu omutose kanga kulihulija nenu nguna mivu nge enu bihani wa mfuchi na chula ojoseje politics nenu mwa haka kuchwa mchima kaha kwa 6 na mauka awana kusoloka muno mifuti ya Zambia muholili liuka muka muna kuhakwila muna kusangu nukachingi na kalunga makafwa lihite mangali tunge flumendi alifuchili
mwane tungo twavyukilila yetu beko amba mchizungungu abo fresh blood so tunakutondanga ngwabo baze mapati akaleko at least ya engi mangana bantu bakale batonde ize iba kutonda baye kuliye umbakuriye momo kumwa bapisa baze kaukuya kuli bakwabo baze na hamba bakapisa kaukahiruka na kuiza kuba so kanjina kwa manganjali ngi support UNIP ninjali ngi support MMD angenjina kutonda mapati za kalemo abali umbatatu muke mjina kutonda kanda mo mnganja kele kuno hake nganja wana mwachiri party ya kulinga support unoni support kanja nge specifically ngo njikutonda MMD ni UNIP ni nada unoni njikutonda ma parties yose munjikuizamba tukatuma mwachiri tukatale kuliko kunjina hasekuya
mulangulozi ngwenu wa kumbuleni mwafuma KABOMPO
mwana
kahaku KABOMPO kuli watu mulile munatachikiza chipwe muli nabo kumuchima munevu ngwengwe na wakikona wabala kusaka kwimana mukusakule chema uka mavulu chiliko uno mwaka
mwana vantu ni ikeni vavengi vantu vanja tantiki yako kaha ngecheva kumena kuzengo tu yani mwane wa mwata wa makai kaha vachikwenda vakevazo vako MMD na wako wa mazina kanjiku watantiki ya mwachiri ikeni vakumena kuzeka mukemo ikeni
muna vulu kangwenu wa nachipo cha mwaza chikuma ngema uka mavulu avihande wafuchi na chiyo natu panao muna mbifuchi letu
mwana
muna hasa kungulwezako kupia muka muna mono chapangako mtopanga nali uka limweka kunaho dia vihanda wafuchi na shulu kahakuwaha muka na muna shinga nyikango nchina asu kusolo kama mbifuchi letu mangana lifuchi letu milimu yalu heto yenga hulutu
mwane chizu chakulinga kumangwa wa pati molika problem yakala ngwe kwa hikuwa kala answerable byose bakulilingira babene bahiba kuvale kangwa mwapisa haze mwakelelaza wahina kwandeka muzi kumwa hali multi party bantu bakutuka kulinga kumwa yapisa party waziba kubaleka ngwa mwapisa bakwibwa bo mangwa wa uze ukavota akutantikya kwalika votela momo bapisa yalaza muze chakele cheka chakulinga mba bapisa hanga habali bene muze buno ni chabyuka this time mutu akutantikya lelo tukuvotela UNIP bapisa mene tukavotela party yeka kuma ize party yeka mba MMD nada nake yapisa na katukeza baki ku UNIP kuvotela tuba tukutonda waze party kune habize bikutu byukisetu chakulia transport na byose ize ma expenses bike byakala ngwa tukutonda ngwa wose akala leader wa party chahimwane bize byao etwati tukutonda ka bya bize bene my expenses as long as we can get my essential commodities problem ya
hakachika yuma vina henge muno munifuchire kufuma mu hakutambula chetu chiyolo chikumanyingana omutwengela nga mu Second Republic mu 1972 na kuheta kulelo eno muna zate milimo makuzata milimo munaye na kushikola ya inene kulanda no kumuli muna kusakamangala mu 10 uno byengeso byenu hakachika bima byose na bina pihi chipo muna mono ngono wa fulumende ili ko muholilika yalingeleka na wako yuma mukabe binene muna mono bina pihi chikuma na kulienyeka chikuma kuhambakana muno mnifuchiletu
mwane vya putukila hakuja halako first ya putuka hamotwa ku tambula mali abe kwa mungu wa forex kukopa azemali unonika tuwe kwa tambula chikuma mzo mtwa kutambula laza kahaineza kumitengo baputuka kwa kila mitengo yala na chukuma katina bize lika mali yatwe kutambula kufuma kubako wetu kubindelebe kutuhyangwa kuli kwasako yani nomwe kwa pangela tukuiwa lelo batuhye mali mene batuhye mali uno kwe kuyaka twe kutantekea wahiwe kutuleka ngwa mali bapange na muze so kwa kele accountability chai banenye ka bantu they are just doing viva kutonda wahinu akuhandeka this time ni kumwabiza bikalingika tukahandeka momo batuhye chilambu uno ncha kwandeka ngwa democracy mukemu ya meaning kumaka tukuhandeka kati democracy man
ka elimu kutala chelo kumakumbi akulutwe nge muna kakinduka kumakulanda no kumuli na kutangila muna hasimba lola lumwe kukemana naye no nawa mu bilike bya kusako ya kuluta makumbi
mwane ohoni hahandende ikeni chikutondeka kakumona bantu tulikona support hamo momo problem ya watu amokatokele chikuma kwimbo chahi kati problem yetu momo batata wakuzatelo kuzatelo momo tunakala nabo nonto akumsashikola tawana milimo muzi kwimboni tunakuya tunakutonda ngango wa support ya bantu bakutuhyako no problem mwane tukatala machiri nsimbu kuichiti
kahakuli wakwenu wakweze wali muno mlifuchiletu nuha mitala chemchimi wakweze hali wakwenu wakweze wali muno mlifuchiletu mazu mukamuli nao muna hasa kwa walwezako ngana omkuneze echikwalu mukachamauka mavulu abihanda wafuchina chiuno ako hasa kuwakanya misako chipuku bevu sako chipuku bevu lako mangana batatikize jijira jambwende makulingira mangana bakafu kulifuchira wali
mwane vijitaze kuleka bakwenze baliko this time bakulinga mu ma politics problemi ye politics kuno tunakuyimona kuja kumwa mkwetu muka UNIP angenji muka MMD kuna hu kulihandekesa chai is a problem is tunakutonda kubanga people bakale na political maturity batantekengwa bose bana kulingila mapati momo ya kulama baze bantu kuma ikati UNIP iliho nishipati yeka ike ikukala sovya kulibetela bikanza bike biza bitu na utonda kuma muri mu parliament ma problems amuze mukwalinga sa mukulieni yeka hamoya nini mutonda na kulibeta kuma mwafu muhaze mukuyamukanwa mema na chibundu hamolika katingwa kufuma muze ka kulikuyana kuli MMD cha himomo ka UNIP kamuka UNIP kuyana kuli na dacha hi tukutonda kufuma muze tukaleha hamolika chuma chitu nakulingila kuno yalifuti chochimo
ngachilihi vyuma ya kufasa nge mashikola aze mashikola mpwela kutangila kumakumbi ya kunyima muna mono nge analifwane nge awa aliko mumakumbi kana ano mkufansa nge kuwaha cha vihela vya mashikola na mulipatela ukalo kana mulihona mazumuka
mane vyalienye kabunoni laza mashikola tuwa kutangila kwa mangu wa free education tuwa kutambula mikanda tuwa kutambula mapencils vyose vya kusalaka kulanda ma uniforms ukuya kushikola vyose na mikanda unoni inonsimbu vya shupu kuja mwana kubanga watambule mapencil watambule mikanda balande yose government ngwa maliahi ngangwa abaputukile laza kwandeka ngwa mufuete ngato aputukile unoni problema kwa mangu free bose bantu unoni wana kutanteka ngwa free this time hakubaleka unoni ngwa fuete enu problem ngwetoyo
mwata Kapasu kusakula kwa chikuma hakuliwa naye na chimeni chino gani
njasansa kwa mwane chikuma
uza panga mwata Darlington LUPALE Kapasu kwesekisa kushimutula na yetu na kutuluweza vishinga vyenyali navyo mukuneza echikwalo mukacha vihane wafuchi na chulo muna mlifuchi letu mwata Kapasu halwalu mwenawa alikulanda nikikuwa na kutangira shikola yenyi kulilongesa milimo ya kula majimbongo ja nyamba uno
I'm recording. If you give me NJKWATE,
Thank you.
to upload this. Some people are too watch for this. I can go and watch it. If you give me NJKWATE, if you give me NJKWATE, if you give me NJKWATE, oh.